Hey dudes, I'm Hilah and welcome to Hilah Cooking. Today I'm going to share with you a quick and easy little refreshing recipe that I like to call 2-melon salad. Because, you know, honestly, watermelon goes great with barbecues, 4th of July, whatever, you know, stuff like that. But when somebody says like, hey, would you mind bringing something to the potluck for 4th of July? And you just show up like, hey, I brought a watermelon, guys, where's the beer? That's kind of lazy. Honestly, come on, think about it. So what I like to do is, you know, get 2 melons, put a little dressing on there, because you know what? 2 melons are better than 1, and any red-blooded American will tell you that. All right, first of all, let's pick out good, tasty, juicy melons, okay, right? So for a watermelon, you want to look for one that kind of has a little blonde spot on the bottom. And this is where it's been sitting on the ground, sitting in the sun, probably somewhere in Mexico, just like, you know, hanging out, getting sweet and juicy. And that means that it was picked when it was nice and ripe and it had time to develop this little flat, pale spot on the bottom. And then also, you want to, it should sound kind of hollow, if that makes any sense, like a drum. That's how you pick out a watermelon. Cantaloupe, however, take a good look at this stem end and see how this one is kind of like dipped in a little bit. That's a good sign. A cantaloupe with kind of like a little innie belly button, not an outie, and you definitely don't want one that has a little, like any little bit of stem still attached to it, like little dried up umbilical cord kind of looking stuff. Ixnay on the antelope A if that's your only option. And then just kind of a nice thick webbing, if you will, and smells fresh like cantaloupe. Okay, so that's how you pick out your melons. Now we're gonna cut it. I learned from the pumpkin seed and jack-o'-lantern carving episode, the worst thing you can possibly do when cutting open a big hard shell melon like this is use a giant knife. You have a lot more control if you use a little paring knife like so. So I'm gonna show you how to do like kind of a watermelon boat, like serving dish or whatever. You don't have to do this part, but here we go. Just gonna turn it. And I've got my watermelon on a dish towel here, and that's just kind of help it stabilize it a little bit. Okay, so there we have our watermelon that's cut open. I'm just gonna, you can use a melon baller and just kind of like scoop out balls and set them aside. If you don't have a melon baller, you can just use, you know, a spoon, or you could even just kind of crassly cut out chunks, kind of hack away at it like a Texas chainsaw kind of guy, although I wouldn't recommend using a chainsaw, until you get all the guts out. So I'll just do that and catch you back here when I'm done. It's gonna take like a really long time, but I don't care because I love my country and my friends, and they're worth it. Okay, I've got just about all my melon balled out here, and there's a bunch of juice down at the bottom. I'm gonna try to neatly dump that out into this cup because guess what goes really good with watermelon juice? Gin. So we can save that and make cocktails. All right, look. There's an emptied out watermelon hole that I'm gonna fill up with other stuff. And we'll just do our melon the same way with the melon baller. For my dressing, I've got just a little bit of honey here. I'm gonna add some lime juice. My melons are really sweet, so I'm just using about a teaspoon of honey, but if your melon is a little bit of a dud maybe, then you can add, you know, add honey to taste. That was a juicy one. And then I'm using some fresh mint. I'm gonna chiffonade that. That just means kind of like pile up the leaves and roll them into a little tube. And then just slice little shreds, confetti if you will, as thinly as you can. And add that to our lime and honey. And just give it a little stir to dissolve the honey. All right, and I'm gonna mix up some fruits together. I'm not gonna be able to fit all of this watermelon and the cantaloupe back into the watermelon shell. That's pretty obvious, I guess, but I'm just gonna use maybe half and half, and the rest of the watermelon you can use to make agua fresca or or cocktails and stuff. So I'll post some recipe ideas for leftover watermelon chunks on my website. All right, I'm just gonna pour my dressing over it. Okay, beautiful. And now I'm just going to gently pile it all back into my watermelon shell. There we go. A little 2-melon salad or a double melon salad. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bite. Now obviously you'd wanna like refrigerate this and make it really nice and cold and icy, but I'm just gonna eat it now. Man, nothing like a little gussied up melon for your holiday picnics. So the mint is great, like I said. I think basil or thyme would also be really nice. You can mix it up with different vegetables, whatever, but like the lime and honey, some fresh herb, just like really brightens up the whole thing, brings out all the sweetness and everything, makes it really nice. So I hope you try this recipe. Have a great 4th of July if you are celebrating that, and have a great weekend otherwise, and I'll see you guys later, and thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, leave them below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you. See ya.